Wolfsburg are a team you probably associate more with the Champions League than a relegation battle, but this season fighting for survival is exactly the standard they've been playing at. They've been near the relegation zone despite winning the first 4 games of the season and finishing these 4-game spell in first place of the Bundesliga. They're currently in 12th place after getting 2 wins from the last 2 games to pull away from the relegation zone, but they have had very weird form over the past couple of years. They either finish right at the top of the league or right at the bottom, very rarely in mid-table. Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about rebuilding Wolfsburg. Now, Wolfsburg clearly have some really good players. Anyone who's played Ultimate Team will probably know players like Baku, Lacroix, Mbabu and Roussillon, and with a decent budget of £35 million, you really can fully rebuild Wolfsburg in their first season. We're going to have a quick look at their current team, I'll be giving you some suggestions, and throughout this video I'll be letting you know why you should make your next career mode save be Wolfsburg. So let's get started. In goal they have Casteels, who is more than good enough to be in this team. He's a good age, so I don't recommend you actually rebuild by buying a new goalkeeper. Actually, in real life, Wolfsburg have the second most clean sheets of any Bundesliga team this season, despite their struggles, making me think that a lot of their problems are further forwards on the pitch. Looking at their 3 centre-backs, you can also see the same kind of thing here. Brooks is only 28 years old, and despite seeming like he's been around for years and years, he's not the fastest, and I would recommend that you probably do replace him in the first season with another left-footed centre-back. I'll make some suggestions for these after this little run-through. Next to him you'll have Lacroix, who's absolutely rapid. He's got 93 sprint speed, which is one of the highest centre-backs on the entire game. He's also very young, only 21 years old, and I recommend you keep Lacroix and get him up to his potential, which is in the high 80s. Next to him you've got Bornau, who's again got some really good pace, although not great acceleration, and is a good height for a centre-back. He's got good potential himself, not good enough for Champions League level teams, but I would definitely keep him and develop him to be a backup because his potential is in the low 80s. Alongside your back 3, you'll have your 2 wing-backs, and most likely that will be either Roussillon, Baku or Mbabu. Roussillon is more suited to left-back than left wing-back or left midfield in a 3 at the back formation, and is getting older. He's 28 years old. Personally, I recommend you would keep Roussillon for the first season and replace him in season 2 with a younger left wing-back. Baku has better stats than Roussillon for the wing-back position and is also better in real life than Mbabu, so I recommend you start him instead. Baku has really good physicals to start off with, so I do recommend you keep and develop his technical and mental ability so it's the same level as his physicals, and then you'll have one of the best right wing-backs on the entire game. In the middle of the 3 at the back, you'll have 2 midfielders, probably most likely to be Schlager, Gerhardt or Arnold. Now to start off with, Gerhardt has very average stats in every aspect. If you need an all-round midfield, he's your guy. He's got 70 to 75 in almost every single stat, but he does have barely any potential to improve. Wolfsburg could do better, and I would definitely recommend replacing him if you have enough spare money after you've bought your centre-back. Next to him you'll have Arnold, who's a set-piece and long-shot beast. He's got really poor physicals again, so your midfield's probably going to be dominated by stronger players. I think Arnold's the kind of player you could keep for the first season, survive, get a bit more money and then replace in season 2, but you are in danger of being dominated if you do play against a team that has really strong or really fast midfielders. In front of Gerhardt and Arnold, you'll probably have Vranks and Kruse. Now Vranks is good, he's young and has good potential, but he does again have bad physicals, but they should start to increase because he's only 18 years old and you can probably expect he'll gain 5 to 10 points in each physical stat. He isn't really good enough to start straight away, so personally I would play Maximilian Philipp until Vranks develops to be a better player than Philipp. Next to him, Kruse has been a really good player over the past couple of years, however he is 33 years old now. For a player of his age, as you'd expect, he's really good on the ball, technically he's brilliant, mentally he's amazing, but he has really poor physicals. If you can play it in a way that means he doesn't have to run, so if you play him and pivot around him so he's just standing in one place playing passes, he'll be amazing for you. But again, he's another player that you should probably try and replace in season 1, if not definitely in season 2. Finally, at centre forward, you'll probably be playing Jonas Wind as the big target man up front. He might not be quite as good as someone like Wout Weghorst was before he moved to Burnley, but he is adequate and he'll probably get you a couple of goals here and there. You don't have too many other choices. You've got Bartes Bialek, who's pretty young, pretty rough, and you're going to have to develop him quite a lot for him to be first team ready. And then you've got Lucas Umechia, who's pretty similar too. He should probably be the starting player because he's got good pace, good finishing, good strength, and is reasonably tall as well. But it's up to you who you play up front. It's probably an area you would sign a player if you absolutely can't get along with either Wind or Umechia, but I'm going to have to leave that decision up to you and how you play FIFA. So that's the existing squad. What kind of areas are you going to want to strengthen? So as I mentioned before, attacking midfield is somewhere you might want to strengthen if you can't get along with Max Kruse to start off with. In real life, they have been linked to someone called Jakub Kaminski from Lech Poznan. Now this guy is absolutely rapid, really good at dribbling and really agile. Beyond that, not too great, but he's only 19 years old and he has a ton of potential. If you want to sign this guy, he'll cost you around £6 million with his release clause, and you'll get an absolutely rapid guy you can retrain to be attacking midfield. Further back, I did mention you should look for a left-footed centre-back to replace John Anthony Brooks, and I think you should probably try and look at Nathan Ake from Man City. Now, he might have pretty big wages for his ability and his cost might be pretty high, but he's not exactly getting much game time. He's reasonably fast, he's good at jumping, he's a really good defender, and I think he would fit in the way that the Bundesliga is played. Of course, he's also quite good on the ball, as you would have to be playing for Man City at all. So if you're playing it out from the back, as you probably will with a 3-defender system, Nathan Ake could be your man at both centre-back and left-back. If you do find you are being dominated in midfield, then I would recommend you go for a fast and reasonably strong tall midfielder to play next to Arnold. In this case, I would go for Lucas Provod at Slavia Prague. This guy has stamina for days, he's got good strength, good pace, he's good on the ball, he can pass, he can defend. The guy's an all-round package. With high work rate, he'll get up and down the pitch, and that's perfect because barely any of your other attackers and midfielders can run at all. Provod would probably set you back around £20 million or 25 million euros, which is a pretty hefty chunk of your €40 million transfer budget. But I do think he's worth it because he does have potential to get better. He's got the right work rates to play as a wing-back in either the left or right midfield position. He's got a good weak foot, so he can play on either side as well. Stamina, and I think he's just a really good versatile player. When he reaches his potential, will be able to play in almost any of the wide or central positions that your formation uses. And finally, the last part of this video, I thought I'd mention two very young players in your squad you should definitely keep an eye on and give as much time to as possible. These are Anselmo Garcia McNulty, who's a centre-back from Ireland but with Spanish heritage, and Mickey van der Ven, who again is another left-footed centre-back who has potential to be pretty damn good. So make sure you're giving these as much time as you can in the cups and in friendlies as much as you can, and hopefully you'll get a couple of world beaters who are already at your club and won't cost you a single penny. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you've learned something or you're interested in doing a career mode with Wolfsburg, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like the video if you enjoyed it. Hopefully you'll subscribe to see more like this, and I'll see you very soon for another video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.